What's up guys, Pix here, bringing you another squad builder on FIFA 18, and in goal we are going to have Stefan Ruffier, and he's generally a pretty inconsistent, weird keeper for me on FIFAs. On the past FIFAs he's been very bad, generally, but in this game he is really good. Definitely one of the better keepers I've used on the game. You can go for any French keeper on the game for this position, but I do recommend trying out Ruffier. There is a French inform keeper in the League One who you could also try out, who also looks really good. But I would recommend Ruffier because he's not too expensive for an 85 rated keeper with good stats. So yeah, he's really good. And the two center backs, Koscielny and Varane. And I don't know what it was about Varane, but he was a surprisingly good goal scorer. I mean, look at that, a given goal and then a beautiful finish, and he like falls over like fucking 10 times. This dude is so clumsy, which is one thing I can say is bad about him. He's a tall dude, but he falls over a lot. It honestly is to his detriment at times when he's at the back trying to chase after like a player like MERTENS or something, and then he just trips over them. He's just so clumsy. It happened like a few times. But I mean, look at that goal as well in the dying minutes of the game, and he actually won me the game with that goal. He was surprisingly great at scoring goals. Like, his composure in front of goal is like unheard of for a center back. It was so impressive. And I really liked him. Honestly, I really liked him overall. He was a great center back, and Koscielny complemented him well. They're both very similar. They're always in good positions to win the ball back. They make great tackles, interceptions. They pretty much just do what you want a center back to do. And in that regard, I can't really complain about either of them. They were both really solid. And the two fullbacks of the team, we have Antonio Valencia and we have Marcelo, who I think is pretty expensive and overpriced, but he is a really great left back overall. I got him with a shadow card on him. I mean, I'm of the belief that chemistry styles don't really make a big difference to players' stats at all. I feel like people really over-exaggerate how much effect a chemistry style has on a player, because even with a shadow, he still felt like he had somewhat low pace. But it's about his positioning, his aggression, his overall tackling, interceptions, and also his dribbling that makes him such a great left back. His tackling was awesome. He was always making good tackles, and once you get the ball with him, he's constantly a threat going down that wing because his dribbling is so nice, and he's always offering a passing option when you're on the attack, and I really love that about him. But overall, I thought he was really good, and he felt very strong and aggressive as well. Same goes for Valencia. This dude is honestly a complete right back. The only bad thing about this card, I would say, is his 1-star weak foot. Who the fuck has a 1-star weak foot? I'm honestly surprised by that, and it does hurt the card at times, but it doesn't make a difference. But he has everything that you want a right back to have. Seriously, he is fast, he is powerful, he is aggressive, he has great interceptions and tackling, and he can pass, and he can dribble. You can also shoot on that right foot if you do shoot with him, but I don't usually shoot with my right backs anyway. But yeah, defense was awesome on this team, and Wanyama tops off the defensive side of this team, and it's just amazing. I love Wanyama on this game. I feel like people overuse Bakayoko but don't even see how good Wanyama is. He's probably even better than Bakayoko. Seriously, give him a try. His tackling, his physicality, his strength, his jumping, his stamina, just physically, he is an unmatched card on this game. And the two center mids, we have Dembele and Herrera. They were both incredible. Two of my favorite center mids on the game, I would say, the way they played on this team and the way they consistently play for me every time I use them. They honestly impress me every single time. Herrera is great in every regard of this game. His pace is okay, but who gives a shit about pace on a center mid, really? He gets himself into surprisingly great positions right here. As you can see, he links up play really well and always ends himself up in a goal-scoring opportunity, which I loved about this card. Another thing about it is passing. Really great range of passing there. He can also finish like that. I mean, sort of like a goof from the goalkeeper there to just fall to the ground and not even attempt to save it, really. But it was a good finish nonetheless. His dribbling is also good. He used to have 4-star skill moves on past FIFAs, but he sort of shifted into like a ball winner, box-to-box midfielder, which I prefer because his tackling is insanely good. It is insanely good. 78 defending on card. He feels like he has like 90 defending sometimes. Some of the tackles that he makes, almost every single game, he was making the most tackles on the team. His interceptions as well are so good. He's just a great player to have in any team, I would say. He is seriously amazing. I love this card. And then Dembele, once again, coming back with the crazy goals and assists and everything. He is one of my favorite players in the game still. And not even just midfielders. Like, once again, man, I'm totally lost for words on how good Dembele is on this game. I mean, look at that great little weak foot volley finish there. And it's not even that he scores me a lot of goals, because midfielders don't have to score you goals, but he does that. He also gets me assists. He contributes to the defensive play as well. He makes stand tackles. He makes interceptions. He's so great at creating chances with his strength. I mean, look at that, another weak foot volley finish. He's just insane. In the 90th minute as well to win me the game. I'm just so impressed by this card. I never expected Dembele to be this good, and I was honestly worried that he wouldn't live up to the expectations I had after last time I used him, and he did. He played just as well, because you can't really play as well or even better than perfection, because last time he was perfection, this time he is perfection once again, and I seriously want Dembele on every one of my teams. He is my perfect midfielder. I guess the only thing you could say wrong about him would be his weak foot, but you don't even notice it in game. As you saw, he scored me like 2 weak foot volleys for me. One of them, which looked like a strong foot volley. That thing was perfect into the top corner. God, I just love Dembele so much. It's unheard of to see a player with that much strength and also with that much dribbling. And look at the dribbling there, the ball control. He just completely burns those defenders. I wasn't even trying to do that. He just did some crazy little hard touch around them and kept the ball right on his foot. I don't know what it is about this card. He is a little bit broken, I find. Seriously, he's so good. And he can also finish. He can pass. He can body players off the ball. He wins balls in the midfield. He holds the ball once he wins the ball back. And you can also run at defenders with him. Because once you run at defenders, it's honestly so hard to tell where he's going to go next. Because even if they read where you're going to go, he'll just push them off the ball. And if you don't read where he's going to go, he's going to burn past you with his dribbling. God, he is just so perfect. I love Dembele in every single way. Seriously, he's incredible. Buy him. Even if you're not going to make this team, buy Dembele. If you have a BPL team, buy him. You are doing yourself a disservice if you are not using Dembele. He is so good. And the 2 wingers, we have Carrasco and Jose Callejon. I thought Callejon was good. He is a good player. Nothing too special, but he is really good. A few things I liked about him: his pace. He is very fast, but his pace was inconsistent at times. But I also loved his positioning. As you see there, he makes really nice runs. He links up play, and once you get himself into a goal scoring position, he's a solid finisher. 78 finishing is a good finishing stat, and that was a great little goal he scored me there. But yeah, he does have good finishing, as you'll see right here again. Boom, nice little finesse shot into the top corner. He also had nice passing. His long passing was like 50 something in his in-game stats, but he was sending some pretty nice long passes down that right hand side to our center forward quite consistently. So I wouldn't really pay attention too much to his passing stats, because he did have nice passing actually in game. His dribbling as well was nice, and look at the run there in the pass. I think that pass was from Herrera. I love that goal. That was so cheeky. Like the patience, and then the finish from Callejon, like on the volley, pretty much was really nice. Now, but some things I can say that are bad about him, mostly the fact that he doesn't have skill moves, and I believe his weak foot isn't good as well, which kind of sucks. So you're kind of always forced to shoot a cross goal. If you want to cut inside with him, which you can do, you either have to use an outside foot shot or just risk missing the net completely with his bad weak foot. So those are something I can say are bad about him. So he was a good winger overall. I thought he was good and solid for FUT Champions. And Carrasco as our left winger, we've used him, I guess it's maybe our second time using him in this game, and he is great once again. Really like him. There's one thing about him that I don't like, is that his pace feels a little bit inconsistent. I mean, he has 88 pace, but it doesn't feel like it sometimes. I don't know if it has to do with his ball control. Maybe he keeps the ball too close to his body. I don't really know what it is. But he's also weak. Those are 2 things I can say are not good about him. But he's still fast. You still feel that he is fast most of the time, but there's some situations where he feels like he doesn't live up to his pace stat. But not in situations like this, though, where he just burns them. And let's talk about his shot. Just, like, off that note, that goal he just scored there, his shooting is really good. It honestly surprises me. Like, his long shots, I try to give them a little attempt sometimes, but they don't usually work for me. His finesse shots from outside the box don't really work for me too much, but inside the box, just going down that wing, cutting inside with his amazing dribbling and agility, and then just finishing it into the bottom corner or top corner. He does that really well, and that's how I recommend playing with him. He also has a good range of passing, and he is a good playmaker, but as you see there, it's all about the dribbling, and yeah, just finishing off inside the box. I don't recommend shooting from outside the area with him, because it doesn't really work for me, but it might work for you. Then he's just a weak bastard. He's such a weakling. But other than that, he is great. He is a really, really great winger that you could fit into any team and he will do a good job because he does have a good finish. As you'll see, most of his goals were the same. Most of his finishes are the same. Just a right foot finesse shot into the bottom corner. And if you know how to use him, if you find out how to use him, and if you play to his strengths, he is a really great winger. And then our center forward is Mertens, one of my most anticipated players to use on this game. And I'm happy to say, look at the goals and assists there. He is one of my favorite players on the game, although I will compare him to another similar player in the same league as him, Alejandro Gomez, because I use them both as a center forward. I use them both in FUT Champions, and Alejandro Gomez actually got more goals. I don't know about the assists, but I know he got more goals in about the same amount of games than Mertens. So in that regard, I was sort of expecting more out of Mertens, but if you judge him in his own merits, he is a phenomenal player on this game. One thing I can say he is the best at on this game is long shots. His long shots are seriously broken. Just turn, get it on his right foot or his left foot. You'll see some finesse shots as well. Finesse shots. Let's not forget about those. His finesse shots on either foot apparently are ridiculous. You will see some crazy finesse shots he scored me with his left foot as well from some amazing angles into the top corners where no keeper can get it. The dude has incredible long shots and finesse shots on both feet. I love that about this card. He has some of the best on the game. I'd say probably the best on the game. His finishing as well. Really, really solid finishing. There are some situations where I thought it would be a sure goal, but he didn't mess it up, but not consistently to the point where I can say that he is a bad finisher. No, he is still a great finisher, just as he scores a beautiful finesse shot on his left foot there. His pace is rapid. The dude is fast, as you would expect. I mean, you should expect nothing less from Dries Mertens. The dude is completely rapid. His balance as well is really good. So there's times where he receives the ball, he accelerates away, and because of his balance, he just completely leaves the defender in the dust. Like, the defender just like, what the hell just happened? Because he's just so rapid, and his balance is so great. He's so agile. He is one of the better dribblers I have used on the game. I'd say easily a top 3 dribbler. For me, he is so good at dribbling, and look at that goal there, the finish. That's what he's capable of. It's no wonder why people use Dries Mertens so much in FUT Champions, because he is just made for it. So great. And there's some aspects of him that are overpowered. Like, I mean, he has 89 dribbling in his in-game stats, but I feel like no player should be this agile. He's like almost like unhuman, like with how agile he is. He reminds me of Papu Gomez. Pretty much, you're using the same player. Alejandro Gomez is a lot cheaper though, but for this team's sake, Mertens is the only one who fits into it, and I would definitely recommend picking up this team. But if you want a player like Mertens for a lot cheaper, use Alejandro Gomez. Although I can't take anything away from Mertens though, because he is really good, and he's also a weak player. He's not very strong, so there are times where his balance just simply cannot compensate for his lack of strength. But most of the time, his balance and agility are more than enough. And like I've said before, if you play to a player's strengths and you understand that they're not strong, do not try and cross to him. Don't try and just run through gaps if there's more than one player bodying him, because he will get knocked off. But if you use him to quickly accelerate away from players, if you use him to quickly turn players and link up play, use his passing to create chances, and use his positioning to just make sure he's in a good position before you give the ball to him, because he is a weak player, then you'll do really well with him. And speaking of his passing, he is a great playmaker as well. He has some nice long passing on him, great short passing. He was assisting players really, really well, using his ball control to hold up play before passing the ball off and creating that spacing, creating that time for other players to run through. Did a really good job with that. Like I said, one of the best dribblers on the game, one of the best finishers from outside the box, especially on the game, and as well as inside the box. The dude scored me 42 goals in 40 games, and I'd say about 95% of those were in FUT Champions. I think maybe 2 of them were in seasons, just to practice with this team before I brought in the FUT Champions. So that's pretty impressive, and he also scored me my first free kick on FIFA 18, and it was a pretty nice one as well, and I'm very proud of him for that. And he is one of my favorite players in the game. There's no denying that. Was I expecting maybe for him to outscore Alejandro Gomez? Maybe, but I feel like if I put them in the team together as dual strikers, Mertens would outscore him. Maybe it was just the team that I used Gomez around fit more around Gomez than this one fit around Mertens. But then again, the goal scoring record was still amazing, so I can't even talk shit. I'm just really trying to nail home the point that Papu Gomez is a great cheap alternative to Mertens, but do not think just because he scored me more goals that Mertens is not worth it, because Mertens is still worth the try, 100%. He should be under 90,000 coins at this point, so yeah, definitely give him a try, and give his team a try as well. It is fantastic. I would definitely recommend picking it up if you have the coins for it, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.